black girls have the box.
Hi, it's time for Who Watched, Time and Relative Blackness in Space.
Hi everyone, it's DJ and Nicole coming to you live from the Time Vortex. Today we're discussing the first of three 60th anniversary specials, the TARBIS. The official description is, the Doctor is caught in a fight to the death as a spaceship crash lands in London. But as the battle wreaks havoc, destiny is converging on the Doctor's old friend Donna. So let's get into it.
This episode was written by returning showrunner Russell T Davies and directed by fan fave Rachel Talalay. It's an adaptation of the Doctor Who comic of the same name, published by Marvel Comics.
Yeah, so we're going to recap a little bit of what happened. Obviously, if you are listening to this, we expect that you either don't care about spoilers or you already watched the episode. So turn away now if you have not watched the episode and want to go in unspoiled. But basically, the Doctor, who has returned to a former face, to 10's face, but is canonically the 14th Doctor, lands in London. And who do they run into? Immediately, but Donna Noble. Donna, who, as you may recall, cannot remember them or she will die. So, fate or whatever, destiny or whomever, is clearly trying it. A lot is happening in that moment when she sees or when he sees Donna, because then there's also like a very good callback to like there's a spaceship crash landing and Donna is obviously turned away doing something else. This is like classic Donna of like missing everything, and I kind of love that they went right, like it just went right back to that kind of old original how we kind of meet Donna, which is just fun. And then when the ship crashes, like a cute, this is debatable apparently, but a cute fuzzy little elf-like creature called the Meep is found by Donna's daughter Rose. So because Rose like stuffed animals, I don't know if that's why, but like Rose like and makes and creates little stuffed animals. But Rose is like, oh, it's so cute, let me protect it, and puts it in her little like arts and craft and her little like creator shed, her she shed, if you will. And then Unit is out here in these streets trying to find the crap, whatever the alien is. But some of the unit didn't got zapped by a sun or some light that gave them, it possessed them, and now they are actually looking for the Meep. But the other, like real unit, is like looking for it's a whole lot happening. But basically, all these aliens are converging, or these alien unit are converging on Donna's house, and her house get messed up.
Badly.
Her house gets messed up because basically a firefight ensues with the two branches of unit, like the real unit and the unit that's possessed, and then there's an additional alien species called the rants who are out there looking for the Meep. So, the Doctor does his. Let's talk about this. We're going to come back to this. The sonic screwdriver is doing many things, new things, but he's using a sonic screwdriver. He's pulling fast ones. He's doing this. He's doing that. Calculations. A lot happening. But they eventually get out the house. They go through several houses to get out the house. They get into the car. They got the Meep with them. They like, we got to figure out what's going on. The Doctor's like, something is amiss. Something is afoot. Because ain't nobody actually getting shot. Like, ain't nobody, like, all this gunfire, all this stuff happening, and ain't no damage. Like, these are not bullets. They're not trying to kill nobody. Come to find out, why ain't the Meep? Why ain't the Meep a villain? The Meep is a bad guy.
Called from the start when I was watching, I would like to say.
I watched it earlier than she did. So I didn't trust. I'm like, it's too cute. I didn't trust it, but I still was like, I would have been like Rose. I was like, it's cute, protect, whatever. But I also was very not surprised. I was like, yeah, of course. Like, ain't nothing that cute just gonna be out here being cute. Like, but it's so funny reading DJ's notes or like commentary while watching, because she was on it. She's like, no, I don't trust it. So I was like, I couldn't reply because I was like, I don't want to reveal it early, but it was very funny to watch. Or to watch her watch. Yeah, so then of course the Meat being a villain is like I'm gonna leave Irv. I'm about to like use my whatever this little drive or whatever his little engine is powered by, decimating like 5 square miles of land or whatever. I don't know, but it would have took out all of London, and that was not gonna fly. So of course the doctor had to do a whole lot of thingamabobbing. But the doctor couldn't do it alone. Is the thing about it. But Donna, having remembered little bits and snippets and stuff, having like that instinct of like, I gotta go and help, was up in there with the doctor. And the doctor's like, look, I don't know what to tell you. Because like technically you can help, but if you help, you're gonna die. And she was like, that's my daughter out there. Like, I don't give, whatever. It's we gotta do what we gotta do. So then he like Winter Soldier, like activated her with the keyword, and then she awoke as Dr. Donna, and she cussed him out, which she didn't cuss him out for what she should have cussed him out for. Let's be clear about this. She cussed him out because she had got that winning lottery ticket. Girl gave that money away. She gave that money away because she, now that she's Dr. Donna and remembers everything, was like, I just had a semblance of a memory of something that was lingering in my body. That was you. That's like, this would be a good thing to do. But Donna was like, I would not have done that. Donna wouldn't have did that if Donna was uninfluenced by the doctors, whatever, the meta crisis. So yeah, she cut them out. Then they did their thing. It was a cute moment. It was like, again, it goes back to like not when we first meet Donna. When we first meet Donna, she's on one. But it's like when they meet up at the office building kind of thing. It's that kind of energy where they just playing off each other. It's great. And they save London. They reverse the whoop wop. All these things go down. And then, of course, we get that moment of like her collapsing in his arms. And we like, oh, no. Now, I'm a person that's like, I know he ain't going to do this. I know that's not going to happen. So I was already locked in. Like, y'all, I don't know how y'all going to fix it. But it's going to get fixed. Y'all ain't going to tear out of me. Get it together. But turns out that because Donna had a child, the child shares some of that energy. So like it's dispersed amongst 2 people versus 1. Therefore, it's less overwhelming. And so Rose helps save the whole London. So it's a whole cute little moment. It's a whole thing. And and it's really great. Except for a thing we're going to get into in a little bit. But like, it's just a really good way to resolve that, to where like Donna gets to keep her memory, but like this basically her and Rose just decide to let the power go. They make like Elsa. They say, you know what? We don't need this. And they just expel it out of their bodies. And like the comment or like what they say is like, cause you're a male presenting doctor, you would never think to do this. But we as women or whatever choose to just let the power go. And while I understand that as a statement, I got the intent of the statement. It was a very not great statement. And we will talk about this very soon in the rants and raves. But I do want to talk to DJ. Damn, I'm about to use your government.
Hilarious.
I was like, not the government. How you felt about these events?
Yeah, I thought it was a cute episode overall. I like you said, I loved all the stuff that you pointed out about just sort of getting back to like the things that are familiar with Donna, and also both. I'm glad that we had the moment of her being like, "Yo, here's the stuff that I just would not have done if you were not influencing me without even realizing it." So she kind of gets to like come back into her own, and then the really cute moment when they you don't have on here. We got a new TARDIS, y'all. So that was really exciting.
I forgot
too.
that part. But we always have a new TARDIS when it's a new Doctor. So.
Yeah, but we have like I think a lot of people seem like excited about the design. I thought it was very cool, and we got to see like Tennant frolic through it.
Yeah, that's true. It's in, you know why? Because it's in the rants and raves. It's a
rave. Okay.
Period. I definitely put it in there. It's definitely in there. And it's a little. It was meant to go with the rants and raves, but period. Correct.
Yeah, but it was like very informed with a lot of the specials, especially the ones that happen in like London, and yeah, was a fun little time.
Yeah, I think it was really. I think that's one of those episodes that really functions well as a jumping off point for a new person, because it does bring back a companion, but they do enough, I think, connecting the dots for people who don't know the story. Now, they're not going to understand how much we are like on bated breath, because we like, don't do this to my girl. They don't have that, but I think they can understand, like, I think it's enough for people to grab onto who don't know the story. And I'm interested to hear from people who have not watched Doctor Who before, or don't maybe haven't watched that far back, or don't that, Donna's story. I would love to hear from y'all. If y'all have not seen Donna's story, but y'all watched this special, I would love to know what you think about this, because I think I'm just so curious how it plays for people who don't have the nostalgia filter on it. But I think we can jump right into the rants and raves, because that will be the bulk of the episode. Last season, me and Delia did Ruth's rants and raves, because Ruth was that one, and this season is going to be Rose's rants and raves, because of course we going up for Rose. Rose is that girl, we love her, but also we just gotta keep with the theme, and basically Rose's rants and raves are where we get into the things that we love and or hate it, maybe not to such extremes, in the episode, and hopefully just we're gonna be nice. We're gonna be nice, but we're gonna take people to task, because some things happen. So I think I want to say that we might actually have an even amount of rants and raves. Like, I don't want it to be so heavy where it's just like all rants. That would not be good. So I think we can do I think we'll start with a rave. Let's start off positive. DJ, give me a rave.
Okay. Well, I already started raving about the TARDIS interior. It's gonna sound so funny to say, it looks bigger, y'all. It's bigger on the inside. It's
huge,
bigger than even the other ones were, right?
It's just like,
I'm like, what are we making space for here? That's part of what made me excited. I was like, oh,
no, it's
more
massive.
Space might mean more chaos, more people. Like what? So that was cool, and then we got to. It's multi-level, which perhaps has been the case before. I'm going to have to go back and search through the different pictures of the TARDIS. But it's multi-level. It's got ramps. The lights got multiple settings. It's just real cute. And so that was fun. And yeah, like Nick said, Rose is just so lovely. And I love her relationship with both her parents. I think it was cool to just see Donna's family unit, after some time, after her ending and folks not really knowing what would happen for them, and to see that balanced out. So I did actually really enjoy the family piece also, and as well.
Yeah. And piggybacking off of the TARDIS thing, we know that the TARDIS is connected to its doctor, right? And so I kind of love the idea that the doctor meets Shirley. Shirley is the new head of science division at unit. She's in a wheelchair, and first off, yes to putting the guns on a wheelchair, because I love a little weaponry. I love a cute little moment. I don't care. I love violence, but at levels. And I just like that they were she was don't trip, I got you, papa. I love that. But I like the idea also that while the TARDIS is doing this thing, while it's regenerating, and the doctor is out here exploring, the doctor meets somebody in a wheelchair, and that connection happens where it's oh, ramps. I like the TARDIS being wait a minute, I can do something with this. Wait a minute. I kind of love that, the idea that was influenced by him meeting her, because then now it's damn, wait, we could do so much like with rams. And it's like, it just makes so much sense. It feels so like it should have been there all along kind of thing. Just like, and it just looks so fun. It looks like an amusement park in a way that like the TARDIS, like it is, but it looks it like you could kind of tell, right? Like it just looks fun. And it also, like, to be clear, it's massive. When I first watched it, I was like, oh, it looks a little bit bigger, and I thought it was maybe a little bit of a trick of a light or whatever because of how the design is. But no, when I rewatched it, I'm like, no, it's like he is very small.
I'm glad it's not just me then.
I was like, he is very small compared to this set. This is a very large set. So like, it's much larger on the inside. It's like very clear lines where you can see straight through it, like in a lot of ways. So I kind of like the idea of them playing with that and like, you know, seeing what they do. But I just love the ramps and like, I was like, hey, it looks fun. Like it just looked like the place you, again, like Tennant was like, I'm gonna run around this bad boy. So you might as well turn the cameras on. Let's make this a part of the show. I just love that. So yeah, the TARDIS was a really high note for me because it also does harken back and look like the classic, like the first Doctor kind of TARDIS. Like it looks like it's in the same family. So I love that it has that feel to it. Like it feels classic, but it definitely feels super, super modern, right? Like it definitely feels like it's made today. So I love that. And also seconding like Rose specifically, because I'm like, I just, you know me. If it's a Black girl just living her life, doing her thug thizzle, I'm gonna go up for her. But also, she's so cute. Like, she's just so cute. She's just so cute. Like, she makes her toys, which end up being like memories, like lingering memories, because they're all actually like the animals. And it's like so funny because I watched it twice. The second time I watched it, I realized the first toy that they showed Satan from the Satan pit. I'm like, that's wild. That's a wild toy to make. And not have context for. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just make this little demon toy. That's fine. But I loved it. And I just think she's adorable. And this is the one thing I did like, or what I'm glad was kind of clear. In our like special episode, I just talked about my fear of them not recognizing intersectionality, and so therefore getting things partially right, or like getting some part right and some part very wrong. And I was not clear on whether or not like Rose would be like how her identity would be reflected in the show. So she's a trans femme, right? But she's also, they have made it canonical that like at some point people in her neighborhood or whatever recognized her in her, you know what I mean? Like before she transitioned. So they have like kids taunting her, which, you know, hate that. And I love that Donna was like, oh, I will beat that. Like, don't worry about it. Like, take these boxes.
Donna said, I will fight kids.
Like, I will fight a kid. And he said, oh, I'll tell mom about it. That was my favorite part. She was like, oh, they mama know about name calling because I was the one that made up the name. Like, she's like, if you want to be a bully, we could bully. I love that. I love that energy when parents have that energy. Like, you want to be a bully? Let's bully. But I kind of just like that they established kind of that without going too deep. It don't have to be a whole arc about bullying. It don't have to be that. It's just very quickly like, this is a thing that has happened. Like, she transitioned and people are aware, or like, it's a thing that's a part of her life, but like they don't have to dwell on it. But I like that there's at least a clarity about it, because sometimes they'll have a character and we kind of don't know their relationship to the like people around them because they don't discuss it and they're like, oh, they just happen to be trans. But I'm like, yeah, but like that still will change. That will affect how you are around people, or like how people relate to you if they knew you before that happened, right? And it's not wrong to acknowledge that, because it's just like, hell, you change your hair, people notice it. You think people not gonna know? You know what I mean? Like, so I like that they at least made a little small point, to show that like kind of Rose's relationship with like the people in that area, and like to like conceptualize her in the space. Like, she's not lonely, but she also like to herself. But I also like that what it shows about Donna and what it shows about Donna's mom and all that, and her father, is that like this is the family she's in, and like this is how they all relate to her, and like they are at different levels and different places in terms of like being able to communicate with her. You know what I mean? Like, Graham was like, oh, is that okay? Is that like sexist to, you know, say that she's gorgeous? And it's like, that is the thing I've heard people like who are trying to do their best, right? Like, they just want to know, like, oh damn, am I that's sexist now because this person now is femme coded, and that's a very like misogynistic thing to ask. If I, you know what I mean, like if a guy asked a girl that, would it be, you know? So I like that they made a point of again showing that the parents are in different places, but everybody in her circle are accepting and are like very much in support, and there's no question that that's their daughter, and I love that. So that part I think they did right. Which is gonna lead me right into my rave. So me and Donna me and Donna, now I'm calling you Donna, child. Me and DJ had a similar thought, and I'm not 100%. I'm gonna put it in this episode because I think it's important, but I haven't fully been able to like word it in a way that don't sound hostile. So like, I'm sorry.
No,
like,
hilarious.
No, because okay, while I appreciate the way that Rose is introduced and how she's integrated into the story, I love that. I think they tried to do too much in terms of making gender a thing that is like women are powerful, women can do this, women can do that, and it's like girl power, which I'm like okay with girl power. I don't have a problem with like, yes, girls, yes, we run shit, we are that, but also at the same time, the problem with how it's done in this episode is very much still gender essentialist.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much still operating in a binary of like women are this, men are that. Because the doctor is a man in this iteration, right? The doctor wouldn't understand giving up power. But this is a person who
makes no sense.
A woman, quote unquote, right? 30 minutes ago. Like in the universe, they were just a woman. So you're saying that now that my face is, I'm wearing a men's aesthetic, or you know what I mean? Now that I am in a body that presents as male, I no longer have the mind,
the same like instincts, the same emotional like capacity, right?
And so it's weird because now if the argument is being made that being a man for this many years and then having like a short brief time as a woman means that you still don't fully, you have not really had to adapt to being a woman, that could be made, but y'all couldn't make it in the time y'all had in this episode, so you shouldn't have tried, you shouldn't have did it. I think there is a larger point that I agree with of like, if you are existing in a feminine, femme-coded body, you have just different relationships to power, different relationships to all kind of things. So that will influence how you react. For them, I get the point. I get what Russell is doing with like, because we both are women, we live in a world where like we're used to not having power, to being powerless. So we don't mind giving up power when it's too much for us. Whereas in the traditional binary, like men tend to hoard power. They don't give it up easily. You have to like fight for that power to come back. And I get that, but it still ends up coming off very binary, very strict man, woman, 0, 1, X, Y. Like it's very like cut and dry in a way that kind of to me diminishes. I hope that makes sense.
I think it does. And like that was one of my critiques too. And even, you know, hearing you talk through it, I think gives me a little more like grace for it, I guess. Mm-hmm. I was actually very, very bothered and annoyed. One, because it again didn't, I was confused about what they were trying to say about the doctor, right? And sort of that, it's because it's not even just that, like, I hear your point about, okay, maybe they're sort of saying something about how when you start to present to the world in a different way, there may be like changes in your relationship with different people and how you navigate spaces, and even the fears that you have, right? Sort of going, you're like, oh, I now have to be like conscious of this, and this, in a way I wasn't before. That's fair. Mm-hmm. But we also, in the last few seasons, got to see that there's actually like the doctor has had more experiences than we have access to, right? And more bodies, more like different ways of presenting that we do not know and will not know. And so like,
well, to be fair, they also don't know, they don't remember all those lives, right? So like,
but they've experienced them, but they still have those. Like what we're talking about right now is like sort of like instincts and emotional responses, right? So like the doctor doesn't remember all those lives. The doctor still has like some of those lessons with them. I guess it's sort of what I took away, and maybe that was not it, but so it was just interesting to, because in all of those lives, whether the doctor remembers them or not, it's like they've been consistent on like their love and their morality and their whatever. There's like certain things that, as far as we know, have been consistent through all those lives, whether they're remembered or not. And however the doctor is relating to power, which granted, each doctor, kind of shifts. Some struggle with power more than others, but it was just interesting. So that was one thing. One, I wasn't sure what they were trying to say about the doctor. And then two, I agree that it sort of went back into this like gender essentialist space that also was confusing, because we had the whole moment with the meep earlier in the show where Rose like calls the doctor out for assuming that the meep pronouns are he. And the doctor's like, "Oop, you're right. Let me ask." Which might have been one of the parts that folks felt was like heavy-handed, but I thought was interesting.
That part
for
I
me
didn't mind,
because
also it's like the meep is not
realized right. So, but also that like what I realized through that part is that like I had been given the doctor I had been operating under the assumption that the doctor just held knowledge that others did not have.
That's
and
true.
So when the doctor referred to like a jadoon or an or whatever by pronoun, that they knew that there was some reason the doctor was like choosing this pronoun or that pronoun. But in that moment, it was like, oh no, maybe they really just been out here
just right,
like,
just like
offending this race and that, like just saying whatever.
That's
like
very
they should have been asking
funny.
questions. That like, so it was funny to think about. I was like, dang, I really just assumed that you knew that we did it. And so then having the doctor be like, "Oh, you're right. Let me ask." And the meep was like, "Call me meep. That is what it is."
Like, yeah, I am the meep. That's who I am.
And so I'm just like, after we go through that, then to come here and have this, I'm like, okay, so we just don't know. We just kind of going in loops. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully we get there. But I thought we were moving away from the binary, and y'all just kind of
they didn't
rope us right back in here.
Yeah, they didn't do enough. It's not even that they didn't do enough. I just think there was, okay. So I also understand that like you are part of your audience. I'm not gonna say all of it because I think they still go like BBC first. This is our audience here, so they still default to a certain like this is who we're catering to. And so I get that you feel like there's a level of handholding needed for this audience to accept these characters in this reality, and I get that. And so I don't want to like poo-poo that because unfortunately we know that people actually do need to have things told to them explicitly. Like they don't pick up subtlety. They don't pick up like they do not, or they refuse to. If they can find a way around something, they will make it happen for themselves. So being so explicit in a lot of these places does it get like this is what it is, right? This is what it is. There is no argument because it's canon, it's fact. We've established it in the show, right? But at the same time, I think they went so hard in terms of like establishing the reality and like letting the audience know like we are aware of and going to be addressing gender and queerness or whatever it's talking about. But they went so far that they end up kind of circling back.
That's not even it. Like my issue with this moment is not, because I agree with you. I agree that like you have to consider multiple audiences, that like not every, even globally, like, there might be like specific legal challenges in the UK right now, but like there also are in the US and lots of other places for queer folks and for trans folks. But like, what my issue with that moment was is I didn't think that it needed to be about gender. Like I think they needed
That's what I mean. That's what I was saying.
Rose, they needed a reason for Rose and Donna to be able to let go of the power, and they were just like, "Oh, could be gender. Like why not?"
That's
but it
what
also
I was
could have
saying.
just been like
they were
human,
adding
or that,
additional
like it could have been
stuff.
Anything that you could have made up besides that. So it felt like one of the lazier moments, and then that like also was instantly harmful because
Right.
because then it fed into of the sort of binary that I thought we were starting to sort of move out of, and it also came very close to that moment of like it's like, so I don't, not that it matters, but there's a moment with Donna and Rose where Donna is sort of like binary, non-binary. So it's not clear to me whether
That's what
Rose
I
is
was
trans
about to
or
talk about.
non-binary. But I'm like, so it seemed they were saying in that moment that she was non-binary. And then they did this like, we
That's
are
what I was
women.
literally getting at. Because I'm like, I get
okay.
it. Again, I get it from a like, you want to be explicit about certain things so the audience cannot say this is what it is, this is what it's not. But the problem is that they did it to an extent to where, it just circle back to being confused. I mean, this is beyond the scope of this pod. We're not going to get into it. But like, some trans people are binary. All right. They believe they operate in the same binary as like cis het people do, whereas they believe there's like a strict dichotomy. And some don't. Some trans people are non-binary, and some trans people are binary. So that got confusing for me because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, is she non-binary? Also, because you know what I mean? Like,
I was hyped. Like, as a gender fluid, I was like,
oh, I was very with it. And then here we go. Then they like, because as women, and I'm like, okay, and you can be trans, non-binary, and a woman, but because they did so many of that back to back to back, and then Donna's like, we as women, we know blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. Now I'm back to not know what the hell going on. I appreciate that we are being, again, explicit about this is a trans person. But it's also, you're not letting one thing sit long enough for us to be like, okay, this character, this is their experience, they're going to be this. Then you like take it, you flatten it by being like, we're women though, and women get job done.
It was a mixing of experiences and like a mixing of terms that kind of, you know.
Right. Again, that's the part with the intersection. Not like a trans femme and a woman have a lot of overlap in terms of experiences, but there are things a trans femme will experience, especially you adding on the additional being black, right? It's just not going to be the same. So there's a level of like, there's a flattening of things to like, we're both women, so we have this experience kind of thing. And I didn't like that. That was the part that threw me. We got time, so there might be like resolution or some way to like soften that or make it better in a larger context. But in the single episode context, I was like, baby, what is all that going on there?
I do want to know, you know, hopefully it's clarified at some point, kind of how Rose is like understanding and talking about her gender, whether Rose, you know, is trans or is non-binary, and what, you know, if that, just what the conversations are around those experiences with their family. It's only 3 specials, so we're not going to get
right
all in these 3 specials. I don't know if we're going to come back to these characters post specials, but yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's being torn between like, you've now presented this question that I want an answer to, but also I don't necessarily want you to not to like try to explain it not, and
right. And I also don't want the character to be yeah, and I also don't want her to be reduced to the trans character or like a character who exists to teach people about trans identity. So also it's like I want to know, because I think it helps to like give me a full sense of who the character is, but I also don't want you to feel the need to teach me, if that makes sense. So it's a tricky one,
especially if your teaching is going to be
right, especially if you are going to be like taking it down to like preschool level, like A+, you know what I mean, after A+B, child. Yeah, I know I'm good at math. So yeah, that was the biggest kind of like thing that threw me, because I really genuinely enjoyed the episode top to bottom, and I thought it was very fun, and like I enjoyed so much about the camaraderie of the family, the way the doctor connected with Donna again, you know what I mean? Like I even liked how the doctor and I forget her name, Nan, the mom, Donna mama, because Donna mama got on my goddamn nerve. I do not like that lady. And I almost was about to see it for her this episode. I was like, I'm gonna see it for her because she been keeping this in to keep Donna safe. But then this is gonna be a rant real quick, because Donna mama was like, when Donna's like, I just, you know, I'm missing something. And Donna mama was like, you just had a breakdown. And I'm like, oh my God. Of course, her mom, being how she is going to tell her that she had a mental breakdown as the reason why she has memory loss. Like, Why? Why would you make her? Because she already has all these hangups about her worthiness or whatever. Like, and you gonna say she had a mental breakdown, knowing that like that's gonna be something that she's probably gonna have a stigma about. Like, it was her mama get on my goddamn nerve. I hate that lady so much. I almost was about to give it to her, but she pissed me off right again when she said that. And I was like, of course, left to her own devices. She gonna tell Donna she had a mental breakdown. So I have another rant, but it's kind of I don't know who to blame. So this might be a Russell thing. It might be a Chibnall thing. So why did 14 regenerate with a whole new outfit? Okay. Why? I feel like I heard or read somewhere that the choice was specifically because they didn't want people to say, oh, like to give people fodder. Oh, Tennant wearing Jodie's clothes. And first and foremost, Jodie's clothes ain't even that damn femme. So let's start there. That is very neutral. It's like fitted to her body. So it would have been tighter on Tennant, but it would have. Here's the thing. This is where y'all messed up. In the last special, in the same special where the regeneration happened, the master regenerates and is wearing Jodie, or wearing 13 clothes.
Version of Jodie's, yeah.
We see the whole outfit, earrings, everything. And again, doesn't even read feminine. So I don't really see what the problem is. But also, what ends up happening when you then have 14 regenerating into with a whole outfit, a whole different outfit, is that you are doing that thing that unfortunately happens a lot where people equate evil and queer. Because, of course, the master would regenerate and would be wearing 13 clothes, and it's whatever. You expect that because that's a bad character. That's an evil villain character. But then having 14 regenerate into their old outfit or whatever, a semblance of that outfit, so they're not wearing women's clothes. I don't know. Like, y'all are doing that thing where y'all associate like bad people with queerness, and then that then has the unfortunate effect of like, that's why a lot of villains are queer coded. Like, because y'all make things that are queer, y'all associate with badness. And then when you see a person on screen that feels a little squishy, you like, oh, that's a bad guy. That's a bad thing to have, right? Like, that's a bad association to have. And a lot of us have it. Even queer folks have it because we are so ingrained. But in this one, I was irritated the first time I saw the special, but I was really irritated when I sat there and realized, like, literally the master was in these same clothes not 10 minutes ago. So what is the problem here? That's a rant. I don't know whose problem it is.
On the one hand, it's like, I don't know, the master was trying to, like, intentionally trying to imitate 13, and even sort of with Yaz being like, oh, you can just come along with me. You'll learn to love me the same. So I don't know if it's supposed to sort of be part of his mockery, but it doesn't change the truth of what you're saying.
Like, we've seen them have the whole thing of like regenerating into an older outfit. Like, oh, this ain't me no more, so let me go get a new outfit or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's the thing of everybody else regenerating in the outfit they wearing, and this one regenerating into a whole new outfit. Like, oh, you didn't stepped up your regeneration game. Dang, okay, next level with it. That's what it is. It's like, if there's not they make a point of it every time. Like, oh, this is not me, or like trying on outfits and figuring out, oh, bow tie. You know what I mean? Like, this is it's a part of the doctor's regeneration to find that new outfit. You have them regenerate, and I guess you could say, oh, because whatever, and they may be able to walk it back, or not walk it back, but explain it in like, oh, whatever this regenerate. Because mind you, they did regenerate backwards. They like, so it might just be like, oh, this was the memory that like triggers a whatever. But it still irritated me. And I think overall it was a choice that was like, I feel like y'all could have just went ahead and like, you know what I mean? Like, said it with your chest. Had Tennant in that outfit. Because I would have killed it. He would have been looking real good in the outfit. Because the outfit is cute. And the outfit to me is not even that femme. Like, it's really not. It's very neutral. Like, the cut might be feminine. It might be like more tailored to a femme body. But like, it would have worked. It would have been cute. But it's fine. It's still a rant. I keep mixing these words up today. Because it made me mad. Cause Sasha killed the outfit. It looked real nice, especially with the little earring. I said, "Oh, wait a minute now." So whatever. That was, especially coming into this, then this episode being the next episode. Like, what are we doing with the questions about gender and about identity? Because y'all are pissing me off with the flip flopping. What? There's still time for them to correct it, to right the ship. It's not like all the way wrong. It's not like I can't watch it. They did a lot of good stuff. A lot of good things happened that I'm like, okay, at least we on the right track. And if some things did not hit quite the same. But I think on the overall, it was a positive, like, it was a good episode. Overall, like, the interactions between the doctor and like Rose and Donna was positive, and there was like good vibes. So I'm not mad about it, but there are things that even if I like the episode, I'm not gonna let you have it. Like, you gonna get this work. But at least I'm coming from it. At least me coming from a place of they got the right idea, and I'm willing to go with them on the journey. And then obviously, if y'all keep doing wild things, then it's gonna have to be another conversation. But I think they're at least on the right track. But hopefully getting that together, because the non-binary, then the we are women thing, I was like, what are we doing?
It was too much.
It was just a little jarring.
And that's literally one of the things that like non-binary people have to deal with so often, right? It's like having people, you know, there's conversations about people wanting to put you on either side of the binary,
right?
And I feel like you just have those conversations so often with so many people, and so to then have the moment where it's like, all right, well,
it was so close. Like, it was like a few lines of dialogue could have just completely changed the entire vibe at the end. And I'm like, I don't know how this is where you landed. Like, take it up with somebody. Seek guidance. I don't know. I was like, what? How do we get to this place from everywhere we was at? Because everywhere else, like, leading up to that point, I thought they was really gonna hit. Like, I was really giving it to them. I was like, they got it. This gonna be something. And then it was that. I was like, oh. Okay. We almost had it. Next time we'll go the whole way. Next time we'll get all the bases. This time we got 3 of them. But yeah. So any final thoughts about the special and like what you are hoping, you know, to see in the next special?
Yeah, I guess what we did not say in the episode recap is that at the end of the episode, Donna, because who she is who she is, accidentally spills some coffee on the brand new TARDIS, like the plastic ain't been ripped off TARDIS. And you know, it starts to go wonky, and the doctor's like, they disappear essentially. Like, Donna's family is waiting for her to come back out the TARDIS, and it's like, nope, ain't gonna happen. We out here, we going in space. So that'll be fun, of course, to see how that plays out in the next special. But I thought it was a cute moment, and it made me excited for whatever is coming next. I was sad they left Rose behind. I thought we were gonna get like Rose in the
was too. Like, I get it, but I'm also like, but let her go. Like, let's figure it out. Yeah, same. That was my only like qualm with the like that part. I'm like, why are we leaving my good homegirl? Because mind you, if I'm not mistaken, and this might be a thing, we need to figure this out, or maybe they're gonna address it. But like, technically, Rose would remember everything because, like, I mean, she already had those latent memories, and like when they dispersed the power, I don't think they dispersed the power and then lost all of the information. You know what I mean? Like, they just lost all the extra juice, all the meta crisis energy. But I think they was like, because obviously Donna still remembers everything, so I feel like Rose would still have memories. And I don't know, I just feel like Rose would then have. Oh, I mean, Rose would seem like obviously she with the shits anyway, so she was down. She thought this little cute alien was like, period. So clearly she's with the shits. So like, she could have went because she would enjoy it, but also I think because she has some semblance of memory from those experiences with her mom, that would be a really cool moment, like a bonding thing for them, but also just like, you know, just because she would enjoy, and you know, I don't know. hopefully we get more Rose. Hopefully we get her in the TARDIS or getting the chance to get out in these streets, out in these space streets, I like to say. Because that's the one part I'm like, I love Donna though. I love Donna, but like also I can love Donna and Rose. Like I can do two things at once. So like let's get both of them. Let's get them both in there. So yeah, that's the thing. We need more Rose. She's so cute.
Yeah, that was it. It was a fun episode. I'm excited for the other specials. And I think it is a good one for like folks who are coming in new. I hope, that anyone who had some of the same rants as we had coming in new, like just I hope it doesn't make them turn away. Right. Stick with it. And I think there'll be, they'll work. It seems like they are trying. And hopefully they can take the feedback that fans and whoever have and apply it differently and keep trying. But it was fun overall.
Yeah, agreed. Let them know where they can find us.
You can find us at blacknerdscreate.com and on the site formerly known as Twitter at BLKNerdsCreate. Talk to us on socials using the hashtag TARBIS and tell us what you think about the Star Beast. If you enjoy what you've heard, you can drop us a TARBIS tip over at blacknerdscreate.org/support. All tips and subscriptions help us keep our TARBIS instruments calibrated and our sonic screwdrivers charged.
Actually, that's blacknerdscreate.com because we have switched it up since the last time we recorded this. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week for the second 60th anniversary special, Wild Blue Yonder, and we will talk to you then. Peace.
Bye.